Hey everyone, thanks for checking out Kami. The whole point of Kami is to basically reduce the amount of information in Slack and kind of deliver it to Notion. I'll give you a quick setup, give you through a rundown of all the features, and then hopefully you'll like it and install it in your Slack. So to get started, all you have to do is click on Install to Slack. It'll ask for some questions and the permissions it's asking for Kami. If you press Allow, it'll work. And then what you'll see is within your app section, you should have Kami available. If you click on Kami, it'll tell you all the stuff that's required to complete the integration. So to continue, you need to give Kami a place to store all the information. So I use Notion, and that's what kind of works for Kami right now. If you press Connect Notion, you can just give permission to all the pages. You can select everything in your workspace or just one page. In this case, I'm just going to go development testing. Once that's done, if I go back to Kami, it'll also tell me, hey, the integration has been complete. If you go back to home, you'll see that the integration is done. The next thing we have to do is just select a page for Kami to add all the information to. So in this case, since I gave it development testing, I'm going to select that page. So I'm just going to copy this URL and paste it right here. And that should generate a brand new page here called Kami. And it'll have all the information ready to go. One of the features that Kami has is the ability to store acronyms from Notion and then reference them later. The way you can get started with storing acronyms is you have to first make sure that Kami is in the channel you want to use the searching ability. So I'll just add Kami in here. All right, and then if I want to create a new acronym, I can just use a global shortcut called Create New Acronym with Kami. I can give it the acronym, in this case, PTO, Paid Time Off. Just add that in there. And then if you look into your acronym list within Notion, so in this case, the page that I generated, if you go to the acronym list, you'll see that paid time off has been added. It'll also tell you who added the acronym, when it was created, when it was updated, and what the definition is. You can always add more information to this page if you want. It won't affect the definition. If you do modify this definition, it'll also affect how Kami searches the acronym and gives you definitions on the Slack side. So in this case, I'll give you an example. Someone's asked if anyone's booked PTO this weekend. If, for example, you don't know what PTO is, you can go into Kami and just tell it to say, hey, can you search the acronym? And then it'll tell you like, hey, for this message, I found these acronyms. And that's acronyms with Kami. You can also create acronyms through messages. You don't have to use the global shortcut. So if in this case, if you know what an acronym is, you can go on the message shortcut and then search for create new acronym. And then as soon as you click it, it'll pick up the acronym from the message, and then it'll use the message as a definition, and you can search like anything, and it'll go through the entire flow, creating the acronym page within Notion. Another feature that Kami can do is actually create FAQs from Slack threads. So in this example, you can see that someone's asked, what is the bathroom code? And someone's answered that question. What you can do is you can select the question itself, and then use the shortcut create or update FAQ. As soon as you click on that, what that'll do is it'll ask Kami will create a Notion page for you for that message as the answer, and this as the question. So if you check out that Notion page, you can see it says, what is the code for the bathroom, and its answer right here. Once you have a big enough FAQ list, you can actually ask Kami to auto-solve these FAQs anytime someone asks a question within the chat. So if it finds something that it has in its database through Notion, it'll answer it. If not, it'll just ignore the chat. So in this case, we made an example in the last time for a bathroom code where the answer is 5741. We can type a message saying bathroom code, and then Kami will automatically pick that up from the FAQ list and solve that question if you're looking for it. One of my favorite features that Kami has is the ability to summarize really long-winded threads with using OpenAI. So in this case, you can see that someone is trying to figure out the food for a certain type of event. You have 3 different responses like Korean, pizza, and if you want Kami to just summarize the whole thread and just give you a Notion page for the outcomes of what happened in the Slack thread, you can just click on the message shortcut and you can search for it. It's called summarize. And if you click on it, using OpenAI, Kami will make a request and then send you the page when it's done. So in this case, for this message, this is the following Notion page that I created. In this case, it said the 2 suggested that group is deciding what food to have for an event. The message suggests Korean food, while the second message suggests pizza, the outcome of the conversation if the group decided to have pizza for the event. Yeah, that's one of my favorite features. Another thing that Kami can do is actually create Notion pages based on a generalized prompt. So for example, you can use the global shortcut to create page with Kami, and you can give it just any general prompt, whether it be a brainstorming session idea or creating a new process for managing bugs in our products. And if you just give it to that, it'll use OpenAI to generate a page for you so you have something to start with. And the reason why I decided to use this page was sometimes you're kind of in the Slack zone and you're trying to figure out, you have to create a Notion page with a process inside of it. So why not just let OpenAI kind of do some of the heavy lifting and just create that page for you. So you can see that OpenAI finished and it created the following Notion page with a process to essentially manage bugs in our products. And that's it for Kami. I hope you enjoyed the demo, and please give it a try and let me know if you have any feedback through GitHub. Again, Kami is completely open source, so if you don't want to pay for my service, you can totally host your own. We have readily available Docker images within the GitHub repo. Thanks again.